Yo, what's up, guys? In today's video, I got a bunch of Chicago Bulls news, rumors, and some injury updates. But before I jump into today's video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, leave a quick like on today's video. It takes a second. It helps me out a lot. And some comments and questions below today's video talking about all the topics and updates I'm about to jump into. Also, check out my last video if you guys missed it. I was talking about how a Bulls insider does expect the Chicago Bulls to trade Vooch in this upcoming offseason. And he was also talking about the possibility of the Chicago Bulls maybe blowing up their roster. Definitely check out that video. But either way, let's just jump right into today's video because I just got done watching the Bulls beat the Washington Wizards. And let me just say, really wasn't, I'd say, a perfect game for the most part. I mean, the Bulls played, I'd say, really solid in the fourth quarter. But, whatever, it's a W. The Bulls finally beat a team that they were supposed to beat. Unlike the game versus the Knicks the other day, that was a really ugly game and honestly just a really frustrating game. But either way, I do feel like Patrick Williams finally played his best game since he's returned from injury. I mean, he played about 25 minutes yesterday, so that was huge. In those 25 minutes, I thought he played pretty solid. I saw Billy Donovan kind of pushed him to be more aggressive on the court, and I believe he was. I feel like when Pat is more, I'd say, aggressive, he's a much better player. He also played really solid defense, and especially in the help defense, he was also in the Bulls' closing lineup, so that's a huge upgrade for him. And speaking of Patrick Williams, let's just give a quick little update on him. Like I just said, he played more minutes last night than he has since returning. It's looking like the Bulls are finally starting to ease him in with more minutes here and there. But I know there's been a lot of hate on Patrick Williams since he has returned. Also, I know a lot of Bulls fans do want Billy Donovan to start him. I'm honestly down for that. I know Pat pretty much has missed this whole season, but I'd rather just throw him into the starting lineup, get him comfortable with the starters like he was to start the season and in preseason. Because I feel like the Bulls are going to need Patrick Williams, a guard, like Giannis or someone in the NBA playoffs. They're going to need his size and defense. I know Patrick Williams wasn't happy and Billy Donovan wasn't happy either with how he played versus the Knicks. Billy Donovan does believe Patrick Williams needs to earn more minutes. Like I said, he just challenged him before the Wizards game to be more aggressive. Billy Donovan did say he isn't the type of coach to just hand out minutes based on hype/potential. And I respect that from Billy Donovan, but at the same time frame, I think best bet is to throw him into the starting lineup and get him ready for the NBA playoffs. Definitely leave some comments and questions below the whole, Patrick Williams hate recently and how he's looked since he came back from injury, and if you guys believe the Bulls should start him. And now here's a quick little update on Lonzo Ball. I'd say that 10-day time frame is coming up, so I'd expect a big update in maybe a day or two. But Billy Donovan did say Lonzo Ball has been lifting and doing very, very low impact work as he continues to rest his knee in rehab process. It does sound like the big next step decision will come in a few days. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that whole situation. Billy Donovan did continue and he said Lonzo really wants to come back and play, and that's huge, man. I believe Lonzo is the X factor to this Bulls team. Hopefully he can return this season, but I do feel like it's kind of unlikely as of right now. The next update that comes out will really determine if he's going to play again this season or not. And just one more quick little update. The Bulls did trade for the Blazers draft pick during the offseason. And if the Blazers pretty much just made the playoffs, the Bulls would have got their draft pick. It's as simple as that. The Blazers are currently 12th in the Western Conference. I saw Damian Lillard's more than likely out for the rest of this season. The Blazers have struggled. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. The Bulls are not going to get that draft pick for this year. Thankfully, it does, I'd say, hold on for the next few seasons now. But either way, that definitely does suck. It would have been nice for the Bulls to have 2 first-rounders for this upcoming draft. But either way, leave some comments and questions below today's video about all those updates I just jumped into. And now on to the second topic in today's video. Like I was saying just earlier in today's video, I made my last video about Vooch and how a Bulls insider does expect the Bulls to shop him and possibly trade him in this upcoming offseason. There has been some talk recently about how the Bulls could move Vooch in this offseason. And according to 670 The Score, they were talking about how they even want the Chicago Bulls to move Vooch in this offseason. And more specifically, he did want the Chicago Bulls to try and trade Vooch for Rudy Gobert. Let me just first off say, I love Rudy Gobert. I feel like he'd be a great fit for the Chicago Bulls. I feel like the Bulls have really been missing a defensive center. I don't want to hate on Vooch because he still had a really solid season, even though it has been up and down and filled with injuries and dealing with COVID. I mean, Vooch is a walking double-double. I think everyone knows that. But I feel like Rudy Gobert would be a better fit. But in my opinion, it's just very unlikely. I know there's kind of been some drama, surrounding, I'd say, Rudy Gobert, the Jazz, and the whole, I'd say, Donovan Mitchell drama. drama and the whole COVID situation, but I just think it's really unrealistic. I mean, if they could get this done, I'd be happy. I mean, Rudy Gobert's 29 years old. He's 7'1", 7'9" wingspan. He's obviously, I'd say, the best defensive center in the NBA. And on this season, he's been a defensive monster. I mean, in 32 minutes, he's averaged 15 points per game, shooting an amazing 71% from the field. Also averaging a crazy 15 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks per game. You know, the only problem I see with this, other than it being very unrealistic, you know, Rudy Gobert, you know, he is kind of limited on the offensive end of the basketball, but for the next few seasons, he is expected to make anywhere from $37 to $46 million per season. Now, I like Rudy Gobert. Probably the best defensive center in the NBA, even though there has been some talk about how he does get exposed in the NBA playoffs. But I'm just not willing to pay this man, I'd say $40 million per season. I feel like that's a lot. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video talking about the whole Rudy Gobert situation and how some insiders are literally wanting the Bulls to trade Vooch for him. And the final topic in today's video is about Billy Donovan, and a Bulls insider even calling out Billy Donovan. You know, for the past few weeks now, let's be honest, since the All-Star break, the Bulls just haven't looked the same. They've been losing a lot of games they should be winning. Obviously, they're like 0-16 versus the top 3 teams in each conference. That's been a whole topic and discussion as well. And recently, there's even been a lot of hate on Billy Donovan and how some Bulls fans even want the Bulls to fire him in this upcoming offseason. You know, as I'm recording this video, The Athletic did put out this tweet and article. They were talking about how the Bulls lost 10 of their last 13 games. And a Bulls insider, Darnell Mayberry, you know, he writes for The Athletic. He covers the Bulls and everything like that. And he put out this quote and article, and he said, with the Chicago Bulls struggling as of late, the problem isn't in the Bulls being able to pinpoint their weaknesses. It's in their ability to fix them. And the second I read that quote, I think that's a shot at Billy Donovan. You know, there's been a lot of talk, and especially recently of hate of Billy Donovan about how his rotations haven't been the best. You know, the whole Patrick Williams minutes starting situation, how he's just not putting the Bulls in the best, I'd say, place to win. You know, I feel like Billy Donovan, you know, he's not the best at adjusting and rotations. He has got some hate. I remember back in the Oklahoma City days covering that whole situation. You know, I like Billy Donovan, probably still one of the best coaches in the NBA. I don't believe there's any chance the Bulls do fire him, but I'm going to be honest, at times I do question his rotation, decision making, everything like that. The Bulls have to adjust, especially with the NBA playoffs right around the corner. The NBA playoffs is all about adjusting and making changes. Hopefully Billy Donovan can adapt to that and the Bulls can follow that. Thank you guys for all the love on the channel and the past few videos. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.